WideSide Sports. Welcome into the program, everybody. Been a couple week absent as I have been sick to no... I don't even know what I was going to finish that sentence because I'm not thinking properly, but...
sick to no end?
To no end.
There you go.
The average person probably would have left the planet.
Totally. I feel like if anybody was going to get that sick, I'm glad it was you. So
yeah,
you would be here and you could fight it for us.
Yeah, because I can take it because I'm a man.
Yes.
Yeah. You got a set of clackers like I got. The fucking virus isn't going to get you. And it put me down. I'm not going to lie. As I just told you, I still can't sleep laying down.
Perfectly.
And it's going on 3 weeks now.
I struggle to breathe. I struggle to be alive.
Breathe. I can still smoke, but which is how I know I'm getting better. Is because smoke doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
Like for a 2 week span, I just because I'm a piece of shit for the most part.
Yeah.
I would just draw it into my mouth like a cigar.
Mm-hmm.
Because I couldn't take it to the lungs.
Yeah.
Of like, well, you've been doing this for 2 weeks. You might as well just throw them away.
Yeah.
And then one day I accidentally breathed it in.
And
it was okay. And I'm like, fuck, we're fine. It still feels like I'm being stabbed in the fucking chest anytime I breathe deep.
But it's worth it. But it's worth it.
Hey.
I like it.
If I feel like my lungs have issues.
Yeah.
If you coat them with some tar, that tar will help get the mucus out.
100%, because you're going to have that nice cough to get all that up. Yeah.
Yeah. It went away from being like a dry cough.
Yeah.
To where like you almost cough hard enough that you puke because you can't get anything out.
Yeah.
It kind of turns your stomach over. To a wet cough where it feels productive. I feel like I'm doing something.
Yeah, no, for sure. For sure.
But,
you're helping. Smoking is helping you get better.
Yeah.
No, I get it. Makes sense.
100%.
Makes total sense.
Drink like some, with John Daly, some nicotine and caffeine equals protein.
Yeah.
Because I didn't eat for damn near a week. So.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I didn't step on a scale. I don't know if I lost any weight.
Any weight?
I don't know.
Like you said, this fasting thing's easy.
Yeah, it was pretty fucking simple. Like I didn't even think about food.
I just felt like
for
shit.
Days.
See, I can't, honestly, I don't remember the last time that I was like, I'm too sick to eat. Like,
dude, it was.
I don't remember that. I feel like I'm like, man, I'm hungrier. Like,
so to give you this, because I told you, like I'd ate lunch on Sunday, and then like Sunday night is when I started feeling bad.
Mm-hmm.
So when I went to the store Monday to buy some Get Better stuff, because I'm my own doctor.
Yeah.
And when you're sick, you just buy Pop-Tarts. Like that's, it's like, hey, if there's going to be a blizzard or a fucking, any natural disaster or you're sick,
buy
Pop-Tarts is the answer. It just is.
Solves.
Cinnamon, obviously. Brown sugar
brown
cinnamon.
sugar cinnamon. Those are the best.
Not be fucking crazy here.
Yeah, I'm with you.
So I ate lunch on Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
And I told you, like, it was after, like, Thursday night.
Yeah.
But realistically, the half a Pop-Tart that I was able to eat happened on Wednesday.
Oh, nice.
So, like, Monday, Tuesday, mostly all day Wednesday, I didn't eat anything. It was Gatorade, water, and liquid IV.
Saline.
Yeah. Pretty much. That has a shit taste to it.
I can imagine.
Because they do.
It's supposed to go in. I think you're supposed to mix it with something.
Well, it goes in water.
Yeah.
It's just a little powder pouch.
Oh, okay. I thought you were like.
It's like. It mixes like those.
Like a
country, those lemonades or whatever.
Gotcha.
That's all it is. But they do weird fucking flavors.
Oh.
So it's like, just make it a lemonade.
Yeah.
This is lemon lime flavored.
Yeah.
This is strawberry kiwi. Of like, just make normal fucking,
blackberry punch.
Yeah. It's like going to Panera of like, hey, here's some fucking arugula on this with some chopped up nuts and some whale semen. It's fucking good for you. Here's a half a pound of bread. Like, Jesus, people. But yeah, I feel like it helped. I felt more hydrated.
It's good. I bet. I mean, it has to help.
But I never, it never came out either end though.
Huh.
At all.
Huh.
So I don't know what kind of sickness does that or if I'm just better. than most people who get sick, that I can hold that in.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't have any stories of I almost shit my pants at my house.
Yeah.
Because I didn't. Well, to be fair, I didn't have anything to shit out.
That's a good point.
So,
yeah, you weren't eating anything. Well, this would have been back in early January. I mean, I shit. This is no joke. I shit I had some kind of stomach bug that ran through me like a motherfucker. I want to say this would have been like a Thursday night into Friday or a Wednesday night into Thursday. Okay. So from 11 o'clock Wednesday night to about 8 a.m. Thursday, I didn't sleep. This is back in, early January. I shit like 15 times.
Ooh.
Not like, it was just straight like you turned on the faucet.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm afraid to go to sleep and relax. Like I didn't want to do it. And I don't know, it was about like 4 or 5 in the morning, and I just had this just gut wrenching pain. I'm like, oh my God, am I going to do it again? Like, is it done? Done? And my wife was like, just take a big swig of Pepto and, it's supposed to calm down. I'm like, if I take a big swig of Pepto, I'm going to throw up. Like, that's a disgusting texture and flavor. I don't want to drink thick pink mint grossness. Like, it's not, it always messes me up. She's like, shut up and take it. I was like, okay. Took a big old swig of that, gulped it down, and 30 seconds later, everywhere. She's like, oh, are you okay? I'm like, I told you what was going to happen. I warned you. I told you what was going to happen. And I don't know what the hell I had to puke up or leave my body anymore, because I hadn't, again, it had been like 12, 13 hours. I'm like, as much as I've gone, is there anything left?
No. Like, because I'm not much of a puker.
Yeah.
Like, ever.
Yeah.
Like, the only time I'll puke is when I cough too hard.
Yeah.
Which happens.
Yeah, it happens.
Yeah,
my kids do it.
I am.
My kids do it.
It's like, let's flip the stomach over while I was coughing.
I've never been around, like somebody says, like, they get so upset, like if they're crying and they're coughing, like they throw up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's not even a fucking thing. Like, that's stupid. Yeah, no, it is. Like, like a 2-year-old, if he's that upset about something and he's crying and he's coughing, he will throw up.
Yeah.
I have seen it.
Yeah, I don't cry when I do it, but I cough hard enough which should be a sign to stop doing certain things. But hey, I live my life. But, dude, the whole production of going to sleep though.
Oh, I bet you said it.
Because obviously I can't lay down, because if I lay down, I really can't breathe. So I don't have a recliner at the house. I'm a couch guy, which brings in another thing. Like, I've been a couch guy my whole life, but I'm a lay down on the couch guy, watch TV. Sitting on couches, not comfortable, because there's no couch that's actually comfortable to sit on.
No.
That's just not the way it works.
Mm-hmm.
So trying to find enough pillows to put myself at a 45-degree angle while I basically try to sit up in bed and recline and sleep. It's like 5 or 6 pillows. The fact that I even had that many.
Oh, yeah. Why do you have that many?
Crazy.
Well, why do you have that many?
Well, my normal sleep pattern is I have like 2 for the head.
Yeah.
And then 1
to cuddle up with.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Slip my shoulder under or whatever, because like an athlete.
Cuddle.
Have injuries.
Cuddling. You want to cuddle it. I liked it.
Just happened to have 2 for some reason that I have in the living room, that if I'm laying on the couch or whatever, because I have like a L-shaped. I don't have a.
Yeah.
But, so I had those, and I had like an extra comforter.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Balled that up.
Balled that thing up, got that. So like the stack is like as tall as me. And then like you gotta, because it, like what you need is like one of the, I think they sell those wedges or whatever that you can actually, or like the old school where it's the pillow that has the armrest that looks like the back of a chair.
Mm-hmm.
But like the ease that you have to ease into bed to not tip the tower over.
Oh, yeah.
Before you lay back on it, and then trying to get comfortable.
No.
Then I have to take an extra pillow and kind of wad it up to put under my head to make it up. It's a production. It's fucking production. The fact that I slept for 14 fucking hours yesterday. Like that.
That's crazy.
Crazy. No NyQuil.
Yeah, that's even crazier.
It was the first night that I went to sleep mainly because I drank the last of the NyQuil the day before. In like a week and a half, it's the first non-NyQuil sleep I had.
Yeah.
And man,
did you feel good afterwards?
Felt okay.
Yeah.
Now, granted, I probably slept that long because, like, I worked a hard day yesterday.
And
like
and still sick.
We cut down like another 6 trees
and
did a lot of bobcat work, which isn't the hardest work in the world, but it beats the shit out of you.
Yeah.
So by the time I got home, I was pretty.
Well, yeah. Plus, you're already still.
Yeah, I already don't feel great. But yeah,
I earned that sleep.
Yeah, it was
won
like
that tournament.
Oh my god, that was. Now that's what sucks is obviously I was off today. I got the whole week. Like the sickness of having and being off on your own days off.
Yeah, sucks.
Of like sleeping through the day. Of like I have just wasted.
Yeah.
Not that I was going to do anything, but there's TV that I could have.
Yeah, could have watched.
Which is another struggle that I'm having right now is finding shit to watch.
Yeah.
I watched that Will Trent show. It's okay.
Which one's that
He's
one?
a detective.
Is that like a Hispanic guy that's Will Trent?
Yeah, it's like in Georgia, and he's got like a Georgian accent, I guess. It's a weird accent.
Is it not Southern?
It's Southern, but
Like uppity
I feel
Southern?
like it's not his real accent like, you don't have to fake it. Like we all know that you're not really
from
that
Georgia.
guy.
You don't have to be for like
you
all
work
these
for the
people.
Georgia Bureau of Investigations. That'd mean you're from there.
From there.
You could be from anywhere.
Yeah.
But it's good. I like detective people that like they're just smart and they just figure shit out like Monk.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. The sanitizer.
But don't have any like he's got his fucking issues, but it's not any of the weirdness of like, hey, he's a fucking heroin addict or hey, he's he can't touch anything or it's like all right.
I don't even know what that is. I mean, I've seen it advertised, but I couldn't. Oh wait, is that guy real handsome looking? You got blondish hair, like a beard.
No, that's the one that they were pushing for after the Super Bowl.
Yeah, that one.
That show fucking sucks.
Okay.
I watched the first episode of that. Okay. That thing is fucking terrible.
Is the Will Trent guy? Does he have black hair, like Hispanic looking
like
almost?
Three-piece suit.
Yeah. Okay,
has like a little dog or whatever. There's a whole story to that too.
Yeah.
No, the one that they were pushing for after the Super Bowl. I watched the first episode of that.
Being good.
Dude, it was so fucking bad.
Yeah.
So bad.
Of
like, what are we like? They're just shoving people into the story.
Yeah.
Just because of like the guy that he is in, the 2 ladies he's in business with, of like, they're like 2 lesbian ladies that are married that kind of handle the books for him or whatever because he's a tracker.
Yeah.
Of like, well, that's like like you put 2 people into this, but like there's too many people in this show.
Yeah. I can't remember the last other than like an HBO one, like I can't remember the last time like I've watched a show to where like, oh, it's Thursday night at 9:00. Let's get, you know what I mean? And I know you probably don't either, but you just watch it when it comes out the next day or whatever. Yeah. But I was thinking like when you talk about TV shows, like that part of TV, like I remember being a kid and like Thursday nights at 7, the new episodes of Friends would come out, and it was always an hour. There was always 2 episodes that came out a week, and I remember like that was always a big thing. Like Sunday nights. When it was like the animation domination before it got dumb. Yeah. Like it was awesome. Like you had like a good Simpsons one, and then you had the brand new Family Guy, and then if you liked the Bob's Burgers and stuff like that, I never really watched any of it. But like that was always like that was a Sunday night thing. And the last one really which HBO would have been like House of the Dragon. I did that one with, it was always fun to watch that on Sunday nights. And then I started with the new season of True Detective, and then I kind of forgot a couple times. Yeah. The True Detectives are slow burns. So, you kind of have to understand what it is as a whole series.
I feel like True Detective is that's one that like you kind of need it to all be out.
Yes.
And then go.
Yeah. Cause, Oma and I binged watch. I already had watched the first season. The first season is absolutely freaking incredible. I mean, just awesome. So after I watched that one, I kind of did the first 2 episodes of season 2, and I didn't really like the way that it was going, so I stopped. Yeah. And we had like a weekend to kill, and I'm like, she likes detectives. She likes shit like that. Like this is something we can watch together. So we binged it all. And I was telling her, I was like, could you imagine like one of the episodes? Like, could you imagine like when this played, you had to wait a week
Yeah.
And she goes, yeah. She goes, that would really suck. I'm like, yeah. Like, I mean, this is TV, and we're that involved. Like, we're that upset. Yeah. Like, we had to wait. Like, as happy as we were with House of the Dragon, like, we had to wait a week.
Yeah.
For it to fucking come out. And then she forgets. She doesn't remember stuff. Like, she can't quote movies. But so it would be like we'd have to start at 8 o'clock because they played the previous week's episode, and then we rolled right into the 9 o'clock one.
Like, I miss TV shows.
Yeah.
Like when they make and I'm talking like House.
Yeah.
Fucking loved that show. Yeah. Like Suits was okay for a bit, but like I miss those because like shows. Streaming services don't do shows like that.
No.
They do.
Yeah. I mean, the one of like the sitcom-y shows, like Life in Pieces was hilarious, and they got rid of it.
I rewatched that again.
It's funny.
This week.
It's so funny.
I bet I've rewatched that season or series 8 times.
No, it's so funny. It's hilarious.
I am in the middle of like season 2 again right now. It's a great show.
It's a great show. I don't know why they would cancel it. It was funny. Maybe don't put it on at like 5 o'clock. I mean.
And the fucking grandfather.
Yeah, he's hilarious.
Awesome.
Yeah, James Brolin. Yeah, he's just a funny guy. Like everybody, like they play a funny part, and I don't know if they try. Like I don't know if like that was their like answer to Modern Family. Like this was like their next show, but like Modern Family was good.
Yeah,
I enjoyed that one. That one was funny.
I just watched the episode where James Brolin accidentally sees his daughter-in-law's tit.
Yeah.
And then tries to cover it up, says, she's seen my penis.
Yes.
It's like, well, she was feeding the baby and I walked into the room and they're like, with your penis out? Yeah.
Oh, it's funny.
I thought I was going to get you to spit that for a second.
I was for a second. I was able to breathe through my nose.
But yeah, I miss all that shit of like...
Yeah.
Well, and they'd always come out with,
but even like when the streaming shit first started, like Netflix had some big heavy
House
hitters.
of Cards.
House of Cards was awesome.
That was phenomenal.
Awesome. I mean, then from my understanding, it would have been
Doug
like
season.
Yeah, it was
about him.
Like,
it was
even
okay.
I know it was not an American thing, but like Shameless was a big hit when it first started.
Yeah.
Ozark.
Yeah.
But fuck, there was. I mean. How many of them were just super, super good, and then all of a sudden it was like, we got into movies. We're only going to make movies now, and your movies suck.
They're terrible.
Which is why I'm super excited that Guy Ritchie's doing one for him. He's doing a Gentleman series.
Oh, that'd be cool.
Yeah, comes out in March.
Nice.
Yeah, early March. So I mean, I like him. We like him.
Yeah.
Netflix usually does decent with TV shows.
Yeah.
I'm hoping that
movies, they try to do those big budget of like. And nobody makes comedies because comedies don't do in the theaters anymore. It's like, you spent $100 million to make this action movie that nobody's fucking watching. How about the $15 million? Just make a fucking comedy.
Yeah. The last comedy they put out was the one with Eddie Murphy and Jonah Hill.
Yeah.
And they just went too much of the like political ways of doing things, and you could have had it so much funnier.
Yeah.
So much funnier. Because the first like half hour, I'm like, okay, I'm in. This is a white versus black comedy that everybody loves. That's funny. And they just make fun of each other's stereotypes. No. Like it got too, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever that word is that.
Because I watched.
And it was disappointing.
Oh, it was a movie that came out on Hulu. I told you that Jake Johnson one that it's not.
Yeah, you said it's not.
It ain't. It's really not worth your time because it's supposed to be a comedy, but I don't know that I ever really laughed. Then the
Palm Springs one wasn't bad.
That was
with
good.
Andy Samberg, yeah.
The Vacation Friends, funny.
Oh, yeah.
But John Cena had another one that just came out like last week.
Oh, okay. Oh, is that like were they fake being a best friend?
No, that one's not out
okay,
yet.
that was not out yet.
No, this one was, he's like a formal special ops guy that goes to do some security for somebody and gets into a country and just like, shit happens.
Okay.
Like there's some funny stuff to it. Like it's worth a watch.
Uh-huh.
It's got that, what is it, Brie Larson or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
Doesn't get completely naked.
Nice.
Puts her hands over him though.
Mm-hmm.
Got to get that in because it's like the first movie that I've seen with her and where she's not completely naked.
Yeah.
But it's funny.
You mean not Brie Larson.
Or Brie, what's her name that's married
Leonardo
to
Franco. Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Allison Brie.
Allison Brie, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like, she's always naked in every movie she's in.
Every movie.
Every movie
like,
she's in.
There's one here where like she's naked, but like she covers up. I was like, well, that's weird for you.
It's super weird.
But
Still got that angry,
it was,
still got that big angry bush. No, it is. It's super weird because literally every movie.
Yeah.
You know.
But then I've had like I thought like some shows that I thought would be good. Like I thought that Good Doctor, the kid with autism, that's like a super genius. Like the first episode, he does this. Hey, this kid gets hit with glass or whatever, and he MacGyver's this way to fucking save him. It's like, hey, this could be good. And then it turns into everybody just talks about how super genius he is, but he never really solves any cases.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I thought this was basically going to be House but the kid has autism.
Yeah,
and you're not solving anything. You're mainly just causing problems for everybody. Like,
yeah, I mean, like
do without that.
And it seems like I can remember more of the bad movies that Netflix has put out than the good ones.
Yeah,
like the one that Don't Look Up that has just a phenomenal cast.
Yeah,
it sucked.
It was
so disappointing.
I don't remember the last Netflix movie I actually watched.
I do. It wasn't good.
Well, it was that fucking zombie movie.
Yeah, well,
that thing was
I watched
fucking
Zack Snyder's
shit.
like Star Wars version movie. Did you ever see that going?
No, I heard that was dog shit.
It's so bad. It's so bad. It
I'm
makes
sure
no
it's 3
sense.
hours though.
I don't know if it was that long.
Probably pretty close.
But it makes no sense. And then they set it up for a sequel.
Yeah.
I'm
well,
like, all the
it.
cool people's they killed off like people that they didn't like. How did you expect people to watch the next one when all the cool people are dead?
Well, that's the thing with like he wrote that and pitched it to Disney for a Star Wars sequel.
Yes.
And then it's like, man, can you just check your ego and take a step back and go, hey, here's the last movies I've done. What makes me think that fucking Disney's going to buy anything that I fucking touch?
Yeah.
Because he sucks at making movies.
Yeah, no.
Started out hot.
Yeah.
And then just went, you know what? I think 6 hours is where we need to be.
Oh, man. I mean, like, I 300 was great. I loved it. It was awesome. One of my favorites. And then you got a couple other, I don't even know what some of the other ones he did, other than when it became the DC stuff.
Yeah,
but,
and they're all terrible.
Like, I didn't mind Man of Steel. I think he did that one.
Did he?
I think so. I want to say I didn't mind. I personally didn't mind Batman versus Superman, except for there were some big holes in the story that I feel like, and it was 9 hours long.
Well, that was my thing on like the Batman versus Superman is the hour, like when Batman drives and like Superman's standing there and he hits him.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's where the movie should have started. Like the 50 minutes before that, just cut it. Nobody needed that because you didn't do anything. You talked about who Batman was, which
and he gave us a hint, and he gave us a hint of who Wonder Woman is. That movie already came out.
Yeah.
So I mean, we know who she is. You're telling it to an audience, not an audience of people who don't have eyes. I mean, yeah. So I mean, yeah, this one was horrible. Now I did enjoy the zombie one. It was long. I know we've talked about it. I did enjoy the zombie one. But yeah, this one was so bad.
Yeah.
So bad. It was disappointing. And I honestly, I liked his Justice League. It just happened to be 9 fucking hours.
Yeah.
You know, that would have been one to where HBO would have been like TV show.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, that would have been way better. And I think we would have liked it. Because if he would have done, you know, like the Justice League, like when I was a kid, like in the early 2000s, that got, you know,
right.
Got me interested in superheroes. If they would have done that, if he would have done that with HBO as like an HBO Sunday night thing, that would have been awesome.
Yeah.
I feel like that would have been way better than what the 9-hour movie that they gave us.
Yeah.
I had to watch it in 2 days.
Yeah.
I didn't have enough time in my day to fit this movie.
Well, that's still my thing of like, I don't know what the rules are. I'm sure you're not allowed to, but I would like to just throw movies onto my computer and just cut them up.
Yeah.
Of like,
here's,
you know, like just the time that they could have knocked 40 minutes off the movie.
Mm-hmm.
just by cutting out stupid shit of like, hey, why are we keeping these girls singing as Aquaman's fucking jumping in the goddamn, like they pan on those 3 girls singing for like a minute.
Dude, that's the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Get rid
why
of
are
that.
they singing so long?
Get rid of that.
Or the
Him
the
walking
intro.
down.
Yeah.
Like,
why does it need to be that long? Why does I never get credits at the beginning and at the end?
yeah.
I'm sure there's probably some kind of
Yeah.
whatever in the contract. They got to say my name this many times. Blah 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 blah. Why do we need both?
Yeah.
I mean, I get it. Nobody stays for the end credits unless there's a scene at the end of it, which is why people do the scene now, so they stay for the credits. Who the fuck is reading the names that come up on that board? Most
Who
people.
the fuck can? They roll by so fast.
Well,
that you
I'm saying
can't.
at the beginning of the movie, nobody went to see that movie in a theater and read it and be like, oh my God, Henry Cavill's in this one? I didn't know. Like, you saw the fucking movie before you went there.
Right. Like, really, all it does is go.
I didn't know they were in this one.
Go, oh, that's got to be the bad guy.
Yeah, exactly.
That's a big name that you haven't seen in any of the previews.
Yeah. Other than that, like, you know who's in the freaking movie.
But the whole DC thing, because, with the restart and the Flash being the movie that was restarting the DC, I watched it.
It sucks.
It's terrible.
It's horrible.
I don't understand.
Mm-hmm.
Like when he goes to, obviously, to the other universe and he has to find him and he finds himself.
Yes.
Why is that one like mentally impaired?
No shit. I thought the same thing. I was like, why is this one stupid?
Like not just stupid.
No, I know.
Like, I mean, like,
yes. No, I'm with
short
you.
bus guy.
Yeah.
Of like, what is, doesn't make any sense.
No, it didn't make any sense. And you want to know one that is just as equally as bad as The Flash? Aquaman 2.
Now, I heard that was terrible. Like,
Yeah.
I'd heard rumors. I mean, by heard, I mean read.
Yeah.
That, like, Momoa was, like, mostly drunk the whole like he was.
I read that too. Like,
it was like, and apparently I haven't watched it.
But
apparently people are like, it seems like it.
It
like
does, because he's goofy.
Yeah.
He's goofy in it.
And they had to chop it up and try to. Did they try to take her out of a bunch of the movie, or they didn't refilm anything after it came out that she was?
They took her out of like a big chunk of it, and then they put her back in. They must have. They must have clipped, because she's not like in the middle of the movie.
Yeah,
she's in the beginning for an hour, and then at the end for like 45 minutes, and then that's
chopped.
And then
they chopped out a lot of.
Yeah,
of like,
I mean, it's awful.
Yeah,
it's awful. It is, and it sucks because it's like they've tried to make superheroes goofy.
Yeah.
Goofy's different than funny.
Yeah.
They can have a smart aleck comment. Something funny can happen. They don't have to be a fucking dork.
Yeah.
And the things around them don't have to be, like, it doesn't have to look dorky. Like, I understand this dude fucking talks to fish.
Yeah.
But the fish doesn't have to wear fucking clothes. It doesn't have to sit upright.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I find that dumb. Why does a shark have a gun? Why? It's a fucking shark. Just eat somebody. Like, I don't, that shit bothers me. Like Jason Momoa and the white dude that's in it, his brother.
Yeah.
I forget his name. They're going to go talk to like the evil fish guy who rules the underlayer of the ocean. Stupid. He's got shark bodyguards with weapons. It's a fucking shark. You have teeth. Like, what do you need weapons for?
What are you shooting?
What are you shooting? I understand why the two human-like people have weapons. They have fingers. How are you shooting that gun?
Stick my tongue out.
I can only think of...
How do you hold it?
I can only think of Austin Powers. They got freaking laser beams attached to their freaking heads. Like, that's the only thing I can think of. But I'm like, this is dumb. Come on, like, James Wan, you've made some good shit. And this is what you thought. Hey, cool. Let's give a shark an underwater gun that beams like a lightsaber.
I mean, I'm so out on. So I was watching
the Marvels one. That's okay. It's not great,
but it's just they've overcooked it.
They have, but I mean, again,
and they've made it to where every movie has to be 3 hours now.
Yeah,
of like I was watching. Obviously, you know I enjoy watching people react to things.
Yeah.
But I just watched it. It was just the original Iron Man.
Yeah.
Which wasn't a long movie.
No, like an hour and a half.
It was like, here's the start. Here's the point. Here's what happened. He becomes Iron Man. He defeats the guy. It's over.
The greatest part of the movie is at the end when he goes, "I'm Iron Man."
Yeah.
It's the greatest part of the movie. Eating
Improvised
cheeseburger.
line.
Yeah, exactly.
But it was like,
yeah.
Watch that and going, because you forget about what they were.
Mm-hmm.
They were just short movies of like, here's their story.
Yeah.
And all their stories are going to be short stories that merge together.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's like, well, we got to make it to where if you don't watch, you know, if you don't buy the fucking card game, you're not going to know what's going on.
I mean, the fact, like, I would watch the TV series if they wouldn't, one, put out 1 billion of them, and two, tell me that I have to watch these to get the movies. They shouldn't even be a thing.
No.
The TV shows, in my opinion, should be based off of characters that nobody gives a fuck about. Honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, the fact that if you want to have a Bucky and the Black Dude TV show, great.
Yeah.
I don't care about those guys anymore. They're not, one of them's really not a superhero, and the other one's only a superhero because he has serum and he has a silver arm.
Well, yeah, how's the one guy going to be Captain America?
Yeah.
He didn't get a shot.
Yeah.
He can just...
If he gets shot in the head,
he just knows how to throw.
Yeah.
He's got wings and he knows how to throw a fucking shield.
Yeah, if he gets shot, he's dead. Like, I don't get... Like, it's not going to bounce off of him. I mean, if he takes a punch from Thanos, he's dead.
Yeah.
Like, I just want to be like, I want like a Mean Girls thing. Like, he pops out and he's like, he doesn't even go here. Like, I just... But, you know, that one would be cool. The Arrow guy. That's fine. Don't need him anymore. He can have a TV show. Those secondary characters, they don't need movies to me. Like the Marvels, the young girl that has a TV show that's now in the movie. She doesn't need to be in the movie.
Yeah.
She could just have her TV show. Like, she's a thing, and she's only. I mean, the only reason I knew about her is because she appears in like Little Kid Spider-Man that my son watches. Other than that, I wouldn't know who she was.
Yeah,
I'm like, I know who that is because of the little children's show.
What's that? So I was watching. It's just on TikTok, and it was an interview with shit. Can't remember the guy. Namgiani. And he was talking about like the biggest disappointment for obviously being in the Eternals. Of like, hey man, I'm thinking this is my big break because everything. And he goes, and like the cast. And then when you think about it, it's like the amount of money they spent on the cast of this show, and nobody fucking watched the movie. I didn't watch the movie.
I watched it.
I heard everybody said it sucks.
Sucked.
Of like,
made no sense.
Boy.
It made no sense.
For somebody like him thinking, hey, I've made it.
I'm in a Marvel movie.
With the biggest stars in the fucking world.
Yeah. You had a Stark, Angelina Jolie, the one guy who looks up fake semen off a bathtub. He's in that.
Yeah.
And there's a couple other people that have been in some shit. I mean, and it's like
just like nothing.
Dude, it's so bad.
Like nobody cares.
Yeah. Awful. It's awful. And they give it away from the beginning. Because the Stark guy's name, what's the dude who don't fly too close to the sun?
Yeah.
Whatever that name is.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, he's the bad guy. He's gonna be a bad guy.
Wings or whatever.
Yeah, I mean, like, if you fly too close to the sun, you die. Like,
yeah.
When they said his name, and I'm like, if he's not the bad guy, he needs a different name. I'm like, there's no way he's not a bad guy at some point in time in the movie. And I remember watching it with Molly. I mean, she doesn't really pay attention, but I'm like, that's a bad guy. She goes, that does seem. She's like, based off of that name, that does seem like a bad guy's name. I'm like, yeah, like he's a bad guy. There's no way he can be
Captain Killer.
Yeah. What was his name? Icarus. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Icarus flies too close to the sun. It's like, there's no. Yeah, Harry Styles is in that. I didn't even know Harry Styles was in it until I watched it.
I don't like Harry Styles.
He's in it. He plays. I thought he was a chick because he has really short buzz cut like my hair.
And I don't know why I don't like him.
And they didn't even give the coolest person his superpowers yet. Jon Snow's in it, and they don't even give him his superpowers till the end credit scene.
That's stupid.
Yeah. Why are you saving him?
The one I do like. Harry Styles is in one of my favorite TikToks where he's singing on stage and somebody throws a stuffed animal at him and it hit him right in the nuts.
Oh, nice. I'll tell you what. I know it got probably written off because of all the shit that came out. Like, everybody on the cast just fucking hated each other during the movie. But Don't Worry, Darling might be one of the best movies I've watched in the last year.
There's a whole love triangle thing going on.
Like
and
everybody hates
ruined
everybody.
a fucking marriage.
Yes, and ruined a marriage and this and that. And, everybody hates everybody now.
The main character was banging Harry.
Yeah.
And then the director started banging him in her marriage. And like, what the fuck?
No, that movie was awesome.
She made him special salad.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what that is. And then, like Jason Sudeikis laying down in the driveway so she couldn't leave to go fuck that guy.
Yeah.
Of like, Jesus.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Come on, man. I know you're not getting anybody hotter, but come on. Come on. Yeah, just think positive.
Ted Lasso.
Yeah, come on. Be curious, not judgmental. But no, that movie is awesome. And that Harry Styles is in that one. That's probably the only reason I bring that up. But good one. Super underrated.
He goes into that movie and ruins everybody's life.
Yeah. I knew there was some kind of twist because I watched it later after all of the stuff came out. So I knew there's a twist coming. Obviously, this isn't, but the fact like that was the twist, like that's crazy.
Yeah.
Have you ever watched it?
I haven't watched it.
Oh, okay.
Maybe I will. I have some time this
if you got
weekend.
some time, seriously, find it somewhere. I want to say it's on Netflix now, but they may have taken it off.
I don't have Netflix anymore.
Oh, okay. Well, then never mind then. Never mind. I won't talk to you anymore about movies. Hey, did you see The Boys have a release date now?
Do they?
June 13th.
What the fuck?
It's
like 2 fucking years.
I got your hopes up. Yeah. June 13th.
That's what I was wondering. I was thinking that the other day of, hey, maybe that comes out. And there's because I watch another one I watched, like that Mythic Quest that was on Apple.
Oh, okay.
Like it usually comes out in Decembers.
Mm-hmm.
But I know they had that strike and stuff, which caused some problems. Yeah. But I'm like, it's not a great show, but it's got some funny part because it's got some It's Always Sunny.
Yeah.
Comedy, which I'm all for. I like that show. So,
do you like that show? Let's see. Well, I haven't watched a whole lot of new stuff. I watched.
I talked about the new Mission Impossible, didn't I?
Yeah, we talked about that.
That's really good.
I watched Iron Claw. It's awesome. The one with Zac Efron, the Von Erich story. Great.
I've seen a lot of videos when people are coming out of the theaters, that guys that take their girlfriends and they don't know the story.
Yeah.
Of like, this is.
Yeah.
It ain't pleasant.
No, like they don't talk about all of the brothers, obviously.
Right. They leave some of, because it's too fucking tragic.
Well, like there's a 6-year-old who dies, or 4 or 5, however old he was. And then there's, Zac Efron's character, and then another character gets ODs, but nobody ever, he's not said he's ODs, said it was like a liver failure or whatever.
Yeah. In Japan.
And then there's one before the dude from Shameless's character. You don't see, he's not in the movie, who kills himself, and then obviously
they
his
said,
one, and then the younger one overdoses, and
the director, I think, said he made that decision to leave out the
young one.
Not the young, because there's back-to-back suicides.
Yeah.
And he left one of them out. He said because it was just,
it's
too much.
Yeah.
But I've watched the, you ever watch that Dark Side of the Ring?
Yeah.
Have you seen the one on the Von Erichs?
Yeah. No, I haven't seen it. I've seen clips. When the movie came out, I've seen like the clips that get posted. Yeah.
Because it is like, Jesus Christ. Because obviously they cover all of it.
Yeah.
Of like, what the fuck?
I had no idea that Zac Efron's character actually fought Ric Flair or wrestled Ric Flair. I didn't.
Like they were a big fucking deal.
Oh yeah, like that's. Like
it was.
Because I like to look up when it's true. I like to, and I'll say that I like to look up the story if the movie's done right.
Yeah.
Because if the movie's not really done right, I don't really care. Like it's like okay, well if you didn't have enough respect for the person or the family to do it right, then I'm not going to look it up. But yeah, I read a lot of it and all the wrestlers and everything, and that's where you really find out that the one guy who said that his liver failed, that he OD'd because it's like I was with him that night before he died. I know what he threw in his body. The one that deleted himself before the Shameless guy. Yeah. Like the reason he did it is just because he wasn't a wrestler. Yeah, he was. They said he had. They said he had brittle bone disease too. He had brittle bones, but he like all the Von Erichs were like fucking 6'3", 6'4", blonde, fucking shredded. Yeah. This one, he was like 5'9". I mean, like he was jacked, but he was and just wasn't athletic. Yeah. And he went in and did a match, and it was just garbage. It just didn't look good because he's just not a wrestler. Yeah.
And it was like, nope, can't have that.
Mm-hmm. And the Carrie one is crazy because when I read stuff about it, which would be the guy from Shameless's character, in the movie, they hint that he was, or they don't hint, they tell you that he was going to be an Olympian. And then Vietnam happened.
Right.
And he wasn't able to do it. It got canceled, whatever. It got canceled that year, so he came home. But they never, even in, I can't find it anywhere of what he was going to be an Olympian in, because in the movie, he wasn't a wrestler.
Right.
They said, hey, the dad was like, hey, I've seen what you can do. We want you to join the family business, blah, blah, blah. This was a couple, month or two afterwards. So
they never covered that.
Yeah.
Like, I don't even know if that's real.
Yeah, I don't know if that's real either. So, and that's what I'm like. I was trying to look it up. I'm like, is that just like a thing? Because he says it at the beginning of the movie, because he goes, everybody knows that Kev's my favorite. And then it goes, Carrie, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And then he goes, everybody knows that the rankings can change. And that line right there is like the whole movie.
Yeah.
Because you see it, because Zac Efron's character fights for the world heavyweight title and whatever one that they run, whatever, it's not WWE at the time, whatever one that the Von Erichs
Texas,
run.
Yeah.
He wins, but because of a technicality, the guy threw the ref out of the ring.
Right.
And the dad can see oh, he doesn't have it. So then he puts all of his attention and focus on the middle brother, who was the one who OD'd with the issues over in Japan. It's like, all right, so him saying that that's like a foreshadowing thing of how the rest of this movie is going to go. Then it goes to Carrie, because Carrie's the up and comer. He's the new guy, and then Kevin has a wife, has a kid, so he's kind of just more of like a manager type thing. I didn't know this either, but in the movie he loses half his leg. He gets it cut off. Okay,
yeah.
All right. As soon as that happens,
Nobody knew it.
No, nobody knew it. As soon
Still
as
wrestled.
crazy. As soon as that happens, goes right back to Kevin. And then the young one, and that's when the young one hurts his shoulder. He's not very good. Pain pills, all that. So him saying that at the beginning of the movie, you don't realize it until as the movie goes on. It's like, oh yeah, this fucker. It's like, that's a real thing. He meant that.
The one, because it was watching the Dark Side of the Ring, because he said it to Jim Cornette, obviously been in wrestling forever.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's probably the final line in the movie. Actually, at a WWE event or at a Hall of Fame thing or something like that, he actually said it to Cornette I had 5 brothers, now I'm not even a brother.
Yeah. Yeah, it is the last line of the movie. He says it to his sons at the end of the movie. Yeah.
But this was, in real life, it was like that. And Cornette's saying that on the show of what the fuck?
God.
It's like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty tragic story.
Oh, it's crazy.
But all the people that are excited to see it that didn't know anything about wrestling or anything are like, I don't think this is the kind of movie you think it is.
Yeah.
It's going to get pretty fucking dark pretty fucking quick.
Oh, yeah. I don't think anybody realizes, unless you did the reading beforehand.
Yeah.
You don't know what you're, and I didn't think, don't get me wrong, I knew what to expect. Even if I didn't, it's not like I think I would have been sat there and cried. It was sad. And a horrible thing. It was the mom.
Yeah.
She's not a huge part of it, but you think about it, she buried how many sons in her lifetime, and then the short span she buried majority of her sons. Just insane.
Yeah.
And that part's sad. And then they kind of do a they do a clip towards the end of the movie where it kind of shows one of the brothers seeing the other brothers.
Yeah, always in the boat.
In the boat. I don't know if you've seen clips or anything like that, but in the early movie, right at the beginning, they're all having fun in the lake.
Yeah.
And so, it was kind of like their heaven. It was that I was like, oh, okay. That was it's like,
yeah.
It's is it getting hot in here? It's like that part was like, okay, I can see why this is the, the sadness is now here,
I'll tell you what, man, if you don't like that Dark Side of the Ring series.
Yeah.
I'm not a wrestling guy, but I like the true stories of wrestling.
Yeah.
Of man, the amount of fucked up shit I mean, just guys that like just flat fucking killed people. He's like, oh, we'll make this seem real, and just fucking stabbed him.
Yeah.
I was like, what the fuck? I mean,
yeah,
you got to put on a show.
Yeah.
I'm like,
it's gotta look real.
What the fuck?
Well, now I've never watched those, but when some of the wrestlers are on like podcasts and stuff,
yeah,
and they're like, talking about it, or Stone Cold's one that I don't even think his is out anymore. He does episodes.
Well, it is, but it's something like it's only on
one platform
because it's a WWE podcast, so it's on like if they're on like Peacock or something, maybe it's on there.
They're there. Yeah, but he was just talking about some of this shit when he first started.
Yeah.
Is like, yeah, you didn't have, like, he goes, you kind of talked about it, but he goes, it could go sideways fast. And he goes, and when we first started, and he goes, it was all a feel of crowd. He goes, we didn't, we talked about what we were going to do. And then if the crowd didn't like it, that other dude was winning that match. He goes, it was like one of those things. And he goes, you could get caught with like a blindside shot because the crowd liked it. So that guy was feeding into it. He goes, and you kind of just went with it, and you talked about it afterwards. And he goes, and you apologized and whatever. He goes, but it was just crazy how sudden things will change.
Yeah. Well, there's so many of them on, like, because there's some of them I've never heard of. Like, there's a couple of them that are like ECW stuff. Of like, I never watched that, but I knew it was like late 90s, and it was fucking crazy. And like the one guy was flat out trying to fucking kill the other guy in the ring. And then there's the one with the David Arquette. Where he got his fucking throat cut of like, the guy that did it just got out of prison.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm getting back into what do they call them? Death matches. They talked and they interviewed David Arquette, and he's like, the guy took it way too far. Right. Like, I'm an actor. I'm not like, this is, and that guy's like, well, I cut his throat got cut, but it wasn't that bad. Like, he could have finished the match. I'm like, what are you fucking talking about?
He cut his throat. Is that a wrestler?
Yeah. And then the one guy, I think he was pretty popular, like coming up through the circuits of like he was going to be a star.
Mm-hmm.
And he brought his girlfriend with him, and she ended up, they just put her in a show, like one of these small shows, and she got on the mic and was just phenomenal.
Yeah.
So she was his manager. Well, then makes it to the WWE. Immediately Shawn Michaels starts banging his girlfriend.
Nice.
And it turns it like everything starts going fucking sideways. It's like, what the fuck?
That's funny. That's funny.
They all end kind of the same.
Oh, yeah.
Usually at a funeral.
Yeah.
Usually, it's like, Jesus Christ.
Well, like the fact that you hear these stories and the fact that some of the people are still alive, the fact that Ric Flair's alive.
Yeah.
Like, it's shocking.
Yeah.
How much just drugs and alcohol that is thrown in that man's body.
There's one on there. It's called The Flight from Hell. And I think it was a WWE. I don't know what it was WWE because it's Vince McMahon. But they're coming back from Europe.
Yeah. 14-hour flight.
And it was cheaper. Obviously, they just rent a big jet. So they're flying to Connecticut from England. Well, something's like a snowstorm or something's happening in Connecticut. So they get delayed, but they're on the plane.
Oh, shit.
For 7 hours.
Oh, my God.
They're drinking so much that they had to go in and get more alcohol. And then the flight is like they're getting in fucking fights.
Oh, shit.
They're like there's a Ric Flair thing that his thing was like he would just get naked and start very well endowed and he'd helicopter and like kind of sexually assaulted the stewardess. Like it was like got like shoved her in a corner and kind of like maybe smacked her on the thigh with it.
Yeah.
It's kind of one. But then it was like there's one guy who I remember who he was like the backstage interviewer guy, had like a, like the long blonde hair and a ponytail. And he fucking drank so much he passed out, and they fucking cut his hair off.
Oh shit!
Of like, just like
shit like that.
That was kind of part of his gimmick.
Yeah,
is the ponytail? They just fucking cut it off. It's just like, and like Jim Ross was being interviewed for this, and he's like, I hope like this comes out that people can just watch this and stop asking me about this flight.
Yeah,
because it was like, dude, it's an hour-long show of like, who the fuck are these people?
Yeah.
Like, how's anybody alive? Like drinking, like It's like everybody on the plane drank like a fifth of Jack,
Mm-hmm.
and then they were taking pills. At the whole time, Vince McMahon is on the fucking plane.
Oh, yeah.
And
That's
like
crazy.
they're not doing anything.
Yeah. That's funny.
Well, because it was like whoever, Mr. Perfect, got fired from the company because of that flight.
Because of that flight. Funny.
It was like, Jesus Christ. Can't take anybody fucking anywhere. At what point in time, it was like, do you guys ever just get tired of being on the road of like, hey, you know, I'm just going to go to sleep?
Yeah.
But you can't.
No.
Because it might cut your fucking hair off.
Yeah. I work with assholes. I'm just going to drive.
Fucking crazy.
Oh, man.
Good show, though.
Yeah, I've heard about it, and I've heard, you see clips and shit like
Well,
that.
obviously, you know, like the first ones you watch, you're going to watch the one guy with his whole family, like the whole family, and he killed his wife and his kid and then hung himself.
Who the fuck was that?
That wasn't that long ago.
You're talking about like, I don't.
You
If you said his name, I would know it.
Yeah. Can't remember his name off my head.
Oh, okay.
Off the top of my head.
Off the top of my head?
Yeah, because it was like
a big deal.
Like he shot his son, shot
shit.
his wife, and then hung himself.
He was a wrestler?
Big time wrestler.
Okay. Well,
God damn.
I'll look it up here.
Can't believe I don't remember his name. This is a whole big deal because when they found out they had Monday Night Raw and they did a whole tribute to him. And then it was like the next day they found out what actually happened. And then they had to come out on Thursday and apologize.
Is it Chris
Benoit? Yeah.
Okay. Oh, yeah. Chris Benoit. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, because that was like, they found out Monday because he didn't show up. Did the whole, ring the bell 10 times, do a whole tribute show to him. And then like Tuesday they find out what actually happened. And then Thursday had to come out and say, like, hey, we apologize. We didn't know.
We just,
like,
yeah.
But the amount of people that they're like, hey, so-and-so's not here. Has anybody seen him? And then they call around. It's like, well, I mean, obviously they don't show up to the show. They're dead.
Mm-hmm.
Apparently that's the way it works.
That's the way it works.
So
I'd rather die than miss the wrestling match.
Yeah.
I saw clips on one. Like, I always find the Andre the Giant stories funny. Because how the hell do you understand anything he says? And then especially like...
Would you like a peanut?
Yeah. Anybody want a peanut? I watched that movie the other day. But, I mean, especially like... Because they said that he would just get drunk all the time.
Yeah.
And how do you understand that man? And then when he's drunk... Like, that had to have been like a special talent. And I mean, everybody's heard the stories of how much beer it took to get him drunk and all that. But... I mean, imagine that voice, but just hammered drunk.
I want to say, it might have been Diamond Dallas Page or whatever. Like he drove him from one spot to another.
Yeah.
And was like, he said, stop.
Yeah.
Get some beer.
Oh, Hulk Hogan talked about it too.
Yeah, it was like 2 cases.
Mm-hmm.
And it was only like an hour and a half drive.
Yeah.
And he drank like 44 beers.
Something like that.
He's like, didn't even stop to piss.
Yeah, Hogan talked about that too, yeah. It's crazy.
What the fuck?
Yeah. He's in the back of like a van. Just he used his big ass in the back of a van. It's just got to be so inconvenient to be that huge.
Yeah.
It's not, he wasn't just tall.
Yeah.
And he wasn't just massive. He was both.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have clothes. I mean.
It's always like, it's the thought of too of like, you like when you see Shaq's girlfriend.
Yeah.
Of like, I mean, come on.
Come on. Like, there's no way you get fits.
But, dude, I'm going to tell you what. Like at All-Star or whatever, when that Wembanyama came up to Shaq and was like, dude, it's like a foot fucking taller
than Shaq, I know.
It's like, I mean, he's paper thin.
Uh-huh.
But it's like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Oh, gosh. But, just imagine being like that massive. That just huge. Ooh, be terrible.
Yeah.
I mean, it would be. It would be an inconvenience with everything.
You can't do anything.
No. People are going to, like, I remember Arnold talking about, because he was in Conan. Andre the Giant was in Conan. And so was, which basketball player was in Conan too? Wasn't Kareem. What was the other one?
I'm really
Wilt.
upset with the way you're pronouncing it.
Conan.
It's not Conan
Sorry.
O'Brien.
Conan the Barbarian.
Big redheaded guy. I'm thinking
Conan. Sorry.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. But, I think, is it Wilt that's in it too?
I don't know.
I think Wilt's in it, and then Andre the Giant's in it. He was talking about it. He goes, I wanted to thank them for being in the movie. He goes, so I wanted to go buy them dinner. And Andre kept saying, no, I buy. Like, and obviously Arnold's trying to, like, make fun of him for the way he speaks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you don't sound funny.
Yeah.
And he goes, I said, no. He goes, I thought I was big. He goes, I thought I was muscular. He goes, I said, no, I'm buying. That's it. And he goes, he grabbed me by my shoulders, picked me up face to face, and he goes, I buy. And sat me back down. He goes, I didn't feel that big anymore. I was like, That's Mr. Olympian talking about that at the height of his physique.
You're nothing.
You're nothing. He will rip you in half. Crazy. Just crazy stuff like that you hear. And I like those kinds of stories.
Yeah.
Because it's, he was being playful.
Yeah. Yeah. When like people, I think I was watching, I think it was Bert Kreischer when they did the Beer Olympics and he was there.
Oh, yeah.
And said, no, I'm sorry, it's Shane Gillis. He goes, you're with all the NFL guys and they're being playful, not realizing that I'm a normal person. It like they go to slap you on the back and it's like, you just broke my spine.
Yeah.
I'm like,
or he goes, they tackle you into the pool and he goes, it fucking hurts because they actually tackled you into the pool.
Dude, I am so fucking over Bert Kreischer.
Oh, yeah.
Like I was watching McAfee out at when he crashed CJ Stroud's thing and did that.
That was annoying.
Hey, man.
That was super annoying.
That's enough.
Yeah.
That's enough of you.
Now, I thought it was cool. They were down there at the Super Bowl week playing cards with everybody. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Like the tape, like the amount of like cool people that were at that fucking table. And I bet Bert is fun as hell to be around.
Probably. I mean, for a bit.
No, don't.
And then it'd be okay.
It's like I need to, go away. But no, it just like the amount of people that were playing blackjack at that table. Like that seems like the coolest table to just be like the card dealer. Like he had to have been like, this is amazing right now. Like all of these cool ass people are sitting here.
But that was funny watching the clip of when he takes his shirt off and starts doing push-ups in front of CJ. And CJ starts making fun of him. He's like, you're not locking out. You haven't done one yet.
You haven't done one yet.
And then I flipped the comments up and you had all the Burt fans.
Uh-huh.
And the first one's like, CJ Stroud's kind of a dick. Of like, oh, you mean for this guy that just walked in on his interview?
His interview.
Took his fucking shirt off and started doing push-ups?
Push-ups, yeah. Because they were hammered.
Yeah.
I mean, they were both of them. I mean, you could tell Segura was not. And he's usually kind of.
He apologized to me. He said, I'm sorry.
Yeah. He's a little bit more reserved than that. But you could tell he had been drinking his own vodka.
I will say, though, the other on the pivot, did you see the CJ Stroud interview?
Yes.
When he's like, where did you go? He's like, Florida. He's like, what are we talking about?
Oh, he gets on Cam Newton, too. And he's like, he goes, Bama's got Auburn. What are you talking about?
Yeah. Oh, shit. Guess in the sports world, there's only, since my sickness cost us the Super Bowl, happened.
It happened. We don't need to talk about it.
No
Everybody
big deal.
knows.
But the one right now is like the Justin Fields shit.
The trade talks and everything.
And I don't care about the Instagram thing. I understand, like, because he did an interview and gave it. I wouldn't want the Bears on my fucking feed either talking about who are we taking number one.
Yeah.
I understand it.
Yeah.
But, like, then all the people going, when Urlacher came out, he goes, it's been 3 years. If you don't know if he's the guy, then he's not the guy.
Mm-hmm.
But, like, the people thinking that they're going to get, like, a first-round pick.
What are we like?
What
your highest pick you're getting is a third rounder.
Yeah,
and I think
he's only got 1 year
he's only got 1 year left on his deal.
Unless a second round pick says you're going to pick up his fifth year option, which has to be done by March 2nd.
Mm-hmm.
But it's like, what are we?
Yeah,
and everybody's like, well, the Steelers are like. Does that sound like the Steelers to trade away a third round pick for a fucking quarterback for 1 year?
No.
That is not who they are.
No, it's not who they are.
Now, do I think Justin Fields is the answer at quarterback? No. Do I think the best thing for the Bears to do is to trade out a number one? Yes.
Yeah.
get all the picks.
Yeah.
Because you got a lot of more fucking problems than what you know.
Yeah. Than him.
You're going to ruin Caleb too.
Yeah. I mean, you're not going to get anybody to throw him. Like, you traded for a wide receiver last year. How'd that work?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't get it. I do think keeping Fields and trading that pick helps them.
Yeah.
But again, you're not trading that pick to number 20.
Right.
You're trading that pick to the max is 4 or 5. Then there's still quarterback options there to compete.
Yeah.
You're not paying him number 1 overall money. You are paying top 5 money, which is fine. This guy's got 1 year left on his deal, so the overlap is fine.
Yeah.
But there is options there to compete for that job, still draft the quarterback. So I do think they have options. I don't really, talking with some friends and stuff like that, I don't feel like, whatever, they always talk about 2 quarterbacks a draft class make it.
Right.
I don't feel like any of the people that they're talking about are the ones who make it.
No.
Not this class. Because Caleb Williams, diva. Those don't usually make it. He reminds me. Now, I know he physically hasn't came out and say it. These are all just rumors and stuff. But you feel like it's been mentioned a time or two for it to be thrown out in the media like that. So I think he's a diva. And he reminds me a lot of the Jamarcus Russells, this and that, who are just going to bitch about wherever they go. And, whether that's the case or not, I don't know. But all these other guys, like, to me, like the Spencer Rattlers and the Bo Nixes are the ones that make it more than the top ones.
I'm going to tell you who
J.J. McCarthy has a better shot of making it than a lot of them.
Honestly, I think he's the one that does.
Mm-hmm.
And when that first mock came out, I think that's exactly what fucking Denver needs. Because I think he can throw the ball. He can move. But he has proven that he will do what the team needs him to do.
Yeah.
Which is exactly what your coach
wants in a quarterback.
Hey, do this. Don't do anything else. Just do this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. I don't mind the pick. I really don't. Because something needs to change with that position.
Yeah.
I don't mind the pick at all. Do I want him? It's not that I don't want him to play for Denver. It's I don't want them to pick anybody with 12 anyway.
Right.
I want them to trade that pick to get more picks because you're going to cut and trade and restructure about 5 or 6 guys in the next month or two. So you're not going to have we need some draft capital.
Yeah.
We don't have a second round pick. That was part of the Sean Payton thing. We're first, then third. There's a ton of fucking good talent in that first to third round pick.
My only thought is you're going to have to draft a quarterback somewhere because you can't afford to pay one.
No, I know, and you're
going to have to.
Well, I think they
rookie contract kind of thing.
I don't think they draft one 1,000%. I don't think that they keep. I think they make enough moves, salary cap wise, to sign an old vet. To be honest with you, I do. I think they make enough cuts. Because there's a couple guys who are up on contracts that are huge cap hits.
Yeah.
Cut them for it because they're only up for a year or however they restructure them. But then there's 4 or 5 guys that just need traded. You should have traded Cortland Sutton last year.
Yeah.
During the season. We went on a nice run. Great. Should have traded for him.
Yeah.
Because his peak was at his peak. Trade him.
Yeah.
As soon as we lost to New England and the playoff chances went from 90 to 50.
Yeah.
Trade him. He caught a touchdown that game. He was still on his 9-game streak of catching a touchdown pass. His peak was at his highest. You probably would have gotten a second round pick from him from a shitty team.
Right.
I mean, the guy's 6'3", 6'4". He's a good red zone target. You know what I mean? So things like guys like that who are 1 to 2 years left on his contract and who are older, I do feel like they make enough moves in the cut, the trade, the restructure, whatever it is, that they sign an old veteran quarterback.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean anything.
No, it doesn't. But I mean, I've heard the amount of things that I've read on the Broncos rumor mill and this and that. It ranges from getting rid of everybody, trading number 12 back to whatever, stockpiling these people draft picks and then putting all your money in Baker Mayfield. I've heard so many different scenarios. It's like, I don't really care.
Yeah.
Like I
don't
believe anything.
It's not even possible.
No, because all of these things that have been talking about, and Sean Payton's like, we haven't even met as a staff.
Minimum Baker Mayfield's $25 million.
Yeah.
Minimum.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't.
No, I think your best bet would be to trade out of 12 back to 20 and maybe pick that team's second round up.
Yeah.
And
pretty
then,
much.
And then draft a Bo Nix or,
And I like Bo Nix, and I know he's older.
But he's not.
Now, I know he's older, but my thing with Bo Nix is he was horrendous at Auburn. He got good coaching at Oregon, and he didn't have to do everything.
Yeah.
At Auburn, they were making this guy do everything, and he sucked.
He's a running back.
Yes. It goes to Oregon. It's kind of the same thing with J.J. McCarthy.
Yep.
He just did what he had to do. He threw it to the open guy. He didn't make a lot of mistakes. He didn't do anything over the top or extra. He just did his job. And to me, if you are, whatever, when he transferred to Oregon, you're 22, because I think this was his sixth year of college.
Yeah.
So 22, 23, and you got better.
Yeah.
Then your ceiling's not reached yet.
Right.
You still have, you're going to still get better. Like, I think Penix has reached his ceiling.
Yeah. He's the best thrower.
Penix?
Yeah.
He throws the best ball.
By far.
Yeah, I mean.
But he's
skittish in the pocket.
Other downfalls.
Skittish in the pocket.
And plus he's got two knees.
He's got two knee issues. The pocket thing for me was big time against Michigan.
Yeah.
I mean, how many throws were just a half yard one way or the other because his feet weren't set because he had, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
he had
that's
some
his
pressure.
thing of like his not being able to move and reset a pocket.
Mm-hmm.
Which is the other thing, like with Caleb, is he is able to move, but way too early. Like all his, he looks like Patrick Mahomes. Like he is running, like nobody was chasing him, and he just started running.
Yeah,
and like,
but he'll be one to.
Yeah, I just think whoever the Bears pick is gonna. They've never not ruined a quarterback.
Yeah,
and I'm not saying that Justin Fields is going to be anything, but I think he goes somewhere else. He would have been. I think if he gets picked by San Francisco, a whole different,
for him,
whole different thing for him.
Yeah, for him. You know, I can see this is a team who's usually aggressive in the free agency. I can see him in Seattle.
I mean, everybody says Atlanta. I hate when everybody's like, well, he's going to Atlanta because he's from there. Like, well, it's not his choice.
It's not his choice.
So,
yeah. He doesn't have a no trade clause. But I can see it.
Now, the guy that drafted him is there.
Yeah. Yeah. But I think, like, for some reason, like, you picked up Gino's option.
Yeah.
You're rolling with him for a year. Okay, that would be the only way it doesn't make sense to trade for Fields because you're rolling with you can't. But for some reason, they seem like one of the teams that nobody talks about that's aggressive enough to do that.
Yeah, because basically you'd be getting Gino and then you'd have to trade for Fields and extend him.
Yeah, exactly.
And nobody's doing that.
Nobody's doing that. So, but they're, to me, a team that is typically kind of aggressive in the free agency. They don't mind using a pick to do that because it's not like they draft well.
No.
They always trade back and collect fourth-round picks and, try to build it from there. But there are some different teams that and I don't think that they're teams who people are talking about now.
Right.
I think it's, I don't think the Steelers do it. I think the Steelers are on the Russell Wilson train of that much because they can pick him up for $1.
$1 million.
Yeah, I mean, it's nothing. That would be a Steelers quarterback.
Yeah, the Steelers are they're not trading a pick.
No.
For a guy for a competition.
No.
Just not doing that.
No, not at all. Like, oh, shoot. If Bruce Arians has anything to do with front office, his aggressive nature would be one to, hey, if we're not going to grab Baker, let's trade for Fields. They're not going to. But again, it's teams who have aggressive front offices that don't necessarily are the ones who are looking for a quarterback that are the ones going to trade for him.
There's no way they don't sign Baker.
No, I don't think so either. I'm just saying that would be those types of teams, in my opinion. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if a playoff team traded for him.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't. I mean, I don't think the Raiders are going to trade for him because they hired his offensive coordinator. I don't think that's a realistic thing.
Didn't seem like it.
No, I mean, they never really talked bad about each other, but I just,
Well, that tells you right there. If they thought he was any good, the Raiders would be trying to trade for him.
Oh yeah, they would have already done it.
Yeah,
because that would have saved the Bears some heartache and yeah. I think
that was my Antonio Pierce. Is that his name? Raiders coach?
Yeah.
On Max Crosby's podcast, coming out saying he's going to have the Patrick Mahomes rules, kind of like the Jordan rules. It's like the Jordan rules for the Detroit Pistons. We're going to beat the fuck out of them.
Yeah.
They just beat the shit out.
Yeah.
You can't do that to a quarterback in the NFL, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Just coach your team. Like you're doing a little too much talking.
Yeah, that's my only issue with him.
Away. You don't even have a quarterback. So.
Yeah, I think that's my biggest issue with him right now is I great. I'm glad that somebody. I'm glad he got hired. I thought he was the right guy for the job. But now it seems like you're being too
saying like, we had the people seeing the game plan of how we beat him, and it's like, well, you had 2 defensive touchdowns.
Yeah.
So you can't count on that.
Yeah,
and the other game you got beat by fucking 30.
Yeah. And the Mahomes and them just ran out of time.
Yeah.
You threw the ball for 60 total yards.
The thing now, granted, being the fan of like the one that no one talks about of like, hey, the only team that's consistently beat them has been the Bengals.
Yeah.
But nobody talks about how they do it.
Who was it? Shit, I forget his name.
Who?
Louis Riddick.
Oh.
He's the only one who's I've heard him specifically mention Joe Burrow and the Bengals are the only ones to be able to knock off the Chiefs.
Yeah.
He's the only one who's ever talked about it. Because somebody was like, is this just going to be a recurring thing? The Chiefs in the Super Bowl? He goes, yeah, unless Joe Burrow and the Bengals step in and do it because they're the only team that can. He's like, Joe Burrow's the only one who can compete with Patrick Mahomes in that sense of getting in somebody's head, playing with the same amount of passion, being able to elevate everybody around him, even if you don't have all the weapons. He's like, you just got to stay healthy.
Yeah. Well, because that's the other one is like, well, yeah, but they beat the Bengals the last time. It's like, well, I mean, actually, it was going to overtime until the defensive lineman shoved Mahomes out of bounds because they weren't going to kick a 70-yard field goal.
Nope.
I mean.
But they would have kicked a 55-er.
Yeah.
Or 53 or whatever the hell it was. Yeah.
But that's another thing of like Burrow just can't stay healthy. Like that's the, and I remember saying that when they're like, well, he'll get one at some point. It's like, but will he?
Will he?
Because he's been in the league for 4 years and he only finished 2 of them.
Yeah. And he's in a juggernaut side of the ball.
Always hurt.
Yeah.
Hadn't had a.
He's played 1 full season.
2
full. He didn't miss a game. 2 years. The Super Bowl run, I know he didn't miss a game, but the
next year he didn't.
The next year he didn't either. I wasn't sure. I thought he missed. No. I thought he missed 1 or 2 just from
last year. The first 6 games he wasn't.
Yeah, he wasn't him, and then
dumb
issue
tears that of like maybe this is just what it is. So of like, but everybody's just like, oh, he'll get one. Of like, no, that might have been your only chance.
That's him back at Ohio State. He wins that job if he doesn't break his hand.
Broke his hand.
He wins the job.
Everybody forgets that. They're like, see, they should have never let Joe Burrow go. It's like he broke his fucking hand.
He wasn't going to play for 2 months. They were going to play for 2 months. He didn't even.
And that's what everybody says. Like, well, see what happened. It's like, hey, remember the guy that won the job set every fucking passing record? I mean,
it's not like
he,
and if you remember, his season at LSU sucked.
Terrible.
Sucked. Michigan State or Baylor or Michigan State beat them in the bowl game that year.
They talk about Haskins like he didn't you realize like his defense was fucking horrendous.
Yeah.
Like the only reason they had to score 50 points to beat Maryland.
Yeah.
Of like,
Yeah.
And he did.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That was the other weirdest thing. We'll wrap this up here real quick. But this Ohio State hires an offensive coordinator and then he's there for 10 days.
Yeah.
And then takes off. And now Chip Kelly.
Yeah.
That is such a fucking weird thing to leave your head coaching job of a Big Ten school to go be a offensive coordinator. I know they have a relationship, but I think it was like one of those. As soon as he said that, like the kids should be paid, and this is how it should be done.
Yeah.
I feel like he started getting some heat of like, I better get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, exactly. But he was only hot seat anyway.
Yeah,
like I was shocked when they retained him. To be honest with you, but I mean the Bill O'Brien thing, I understand. That's more of a family thing.
That's a perfect setup for him because obviously, his son medical
has those
attention,
issues.
Boston.
There's no expectations at Boston College. He's
you
from
win 8
there.
games once in a while. Okay.
If you go to the one dude who's at Green Bay now, they got him bowl eligible twice. So, that's great for them and had some success there. But, I just find it weird.
But
and everybody on Twitter knew before anybody. Yeah,
but now everybody's like, oh, they upgraded to Chip Kelly. It's like, well, what's...
But the people that are excited about Chip Kelly, I don't think you're going to see... You're not going to see like Oregon Chip Kelly.
No.
Yeah, when I say you'll see a little bit, but the up-tempo stuff, I don't think you're going to see that because I don't think, it doesn't really do anything.
No.
And it's not like Ryan Day is going to completely change every single thing that they do. So, they already don't huddle. So that's, you know what I mean? The up-tempo thing, you're going to see it, I think, a little bit more, but I think you're only going to see it against bad teams.
Yeah.
I would say the thing that I'm excited about with Chip Kelly is you sign this Will Howard guy who's a runner.
Yeah.
You have apparently, Trayvon Henderson's coming back. The Quinshawn Jenkins is coming there. I'm very excited about his running game.
Yeah, that's the main.
I'm very excited about it. He has a great running game. UCLA, the guy got drafted in the second round last year.
Yeah.
Running. Charbonnet or however you say it. They have a good running game. He has a nice system of running games and running quarterback.
Right.
We talked. There's now your third dimension. The guy has always had a quarterback who could run. Look at the guys. What he did with Oregon.
Yeah.
Those guys there. Now, look what he did with DTR for 2 years, whatever. The guy, he had some nice runs for him. So I am excited about that part of Chip Kelly, and I think honestly that's why you bring him in, because your passing game
is what it is.
It is what it is. You're just going to have better receivers out there. You do need to attack the middle of the field a little bit more, and not so necessarily all sideline crap.
Right.
And then there's going to be some different philosophies that he's going to bring, I think, and not the up tempo stuff, but I would say more of like a check at the line kind of thing.
Yeah, you're not going to go speed because your defense should be okay.
Mm-hmm.
If you have a good defense,
you don't need to do
going up tempo, you just end up fucking over your defense because they're on the field the whole time.
Yeah.
You do up tempo when your defense sucks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, that's why I would say that it's exciting for the run game, because we have, you haven't had a true run game since J.K. Dobbins.
Yeah.
That's probably the last really one that I remember, having a good solid run game. So that, as Ohio State fans, that's what makes me excited.
Yeah.
And then obviously they figured out how to use the NIL, and the people who support Ohio State have figured out that if they want to compete, then they're going to need to start giving people money for this. So
I think that was such a big thing too, with like CJ Stroud giving.
Yeah.
It's giving back of like setting the. Your first rounder. Yeah. Give back.
No, it's nice, and they've had enough first rounders for everybody to kind of do that. So
yeah.
It's good for Ohio State football. Day did everything he needed to do to win back the fan base.
Yeah.
Now he just needs to produce.
Yeah.
That's my take from it. He fired the guys he deemed fireable.
Yep.
I would have liked a new offensive line coach, but again, it is what it is. I don't think the guy, not that he doesn't know what he's doing. Obviously, if you get to that point, you know what you're doing. Mine is the recruiting aspect of it. Why? And it's almost a blatant, like, we're okay.
Yeah.
Like, how do you watch film and not say, let's offer one of the linemen in the portal?
Yeah.
I don't know how you look at the roster and you're like, nah, we're good with the O-line.
Well, my whole thing is with him, as we've talked about this before, the fact that like they recruit tackles.
Yeah.
And then have tackles play guard of like, that's not.
No.
Hey, 6'7"
is not a guard.
Is not for a guard. Like 6'4" is kind of their sweet spot.
Yeah.
Because you need leverage.
Yeah. And again, and Chip Kelly pulls a lot, so you're not going to want a 6'7" guy pulling. That's not working. Yeah, like Chip Kelly, like his pin and pull game is fun. So you're not going to want to have like you want that bowling ball running over somebody and creating space, and that part of it I think would be the next thing to hit.
Yeah. I would like to do that too, because that used to be like prototype of like the best guard centers. Tackles they're always going to be 6'6", 6'7".
Yeah,
just because they need the length of what's because like all your Hall of Fame guards and centers are all like 6'4".
Yeah,
I mean that's just kind of their
like the 6'2" to 6'4" range. Yeah. It just and then it's not your 330s.
No,
it's your 3 to 315, 325 ish, 330 if you're just a freak. Who can move. Like, obviously, like Marshall Yonda comes to mind. Like that guy, 6'3", 315. It's like, Hall of Famer. Like,
he can get under the shoulder pad level.
Yeah, and will move your ass. Like, the biggest guard I can really think of right now is Taylor from the Browns. Because I don't care what his height is. Guy's way taller than like 6'2", 6'3".
Yeah.
The guy's like 6'5", 6'6". He's just, is
just
athletic.
Better.
Athletic and can bend.
Yeah.
So.
Because like Ohio State's offensive line problems seemed like they all started when he's like, we're just going to put the best athletes on the field, and like you had your backup tackles playing guard, one of them playing center. I was like, okay.
I mean, you need like those are specific positions,
especially like at Ohio State when you went through
the linemen
like
did.
Like 6 centers in a row got drafted in the first 2 rounds.
Yeah,
I mean it was like
I mean the sheer amount of like linemen that have came like out of there just
Hitting the other one, the greatest is Iowa.
Yeah.
Hire the offensive coordinator that had the worst offense in college football.
Yeah.
Of like, you had to fire your son because your offense was 128 out of 132.
Mm-hmm.
And the offensive coordinator you hired
was 131.
Was the coach that was at 131.
Yeah.
Like that's
better.
where you're going?
You thought that was just
couldn't get anybody in the 80s?
Yeah.
That needed a job?
You couldn't have got like a quarterback coach?
Yeah.
Like that, you know what I mean? Somebody? Yeah, I don't get that at all.
Just right back into...
Yeah, like to me, Iowa would have been the guy to, you're giving somebody from the Alabama, Washington, a quarterback coach or a special, somebody of that nature. Hey, do you want to come call plays for me?
And it's worth it for them.
Yeah.
Hey, if I can go spend 2 years here and score in the 20s, I'm getting a fucking job.
People are gonna talk about
and not
me.
To mention, like how good is Iowa going to be if they score 25 points?
No shit. If I can average 20 points a game, my name is going to be all over social media. Yeah. And if I don't, I'm no better off than I was when I got here.
Yeah.
I'll go back to being a quarterback coach. So I just like that would have been the move for me. Who's leaving? And like UCLA.
Yeah.
I'm calling the guy who was calling their plays behind Chip Kelly.
Yeah.
Why not? He's learned from somebody who's done it for quite some time. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm calling an NFL quarterback coach.
Yeah.
A young one.
Hey, you need some play calling experience?
I'll give you offensive coordinator job right now. Do you want it? Like, I mean, a young guy, obviously somebody who hadn't been there, but some guy who wants to get in the play calling duty. Yeah. Like, why would 130? Just, yeah. I don't.
It's like you hired a worse guy.
Yeah.
And is it I'll fucking show you guys.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, well, that's a good way to get, because this is where you get fired, Kirk.
Yeah, Kirk. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry, buddy. Yeah, that's funny.
I was going to say, like when you took a piss, like this one just jumped up on it. He's like, well, you have drank half a gallon of water since we've been in here. So
yeah, I didn't realize that.
It's like, you kind of figured it was coming. You didn't start sweating though.
I don't have I mean, I'm wearing shorts and a t-shirt, so.
I understand, but even then, like the last couple times it has
when I texted you that day, like I had I texted you and I said, I'm getting the pee sweats and nobody's responding to come help. It was like 3 minutes left in class, and I went, guys, I'm going to pee myself. Please, God, don't fight. And I go pee, I come back, and there's a girl in there, and she's like, Evans, I punched somebody. I need to go to the office. She's like, I need to go home for the day. I'm like, shut up. You didn't punch anybody. She's like, I'm like, what? You said I need to go home for the day? You think I would have bought that line? She's like, I just figured you'd send me to the office and I wouldn't have to go to class next. I'm like, yeah, you're stupid.
I'm going to piss myself.
Yeah.
That's the most of anything anymore is I come closer to pissing myself than anything. Like it hits and it's like, I got some time. And it's like, no, I don't.
No, I don't. Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, it's not fun.
Just dribble. A couple dribbles.
Couple dribbles. Let it shut off the valve.
Yeah.
Just release some pressure real fast.
That's the worst of like, can I get it out before I piss on my pants? 'Cause that's, sometimes that's a...
Oh, yeah.
To start jumping in the bathroom, going like old school, like kindergartner, just drop them to the ankles. Because I don't have time to unzip.
Yeah.
Because I wear pants that zip.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
I haven't. It's been so great.
I don't have that kind of job where I can just wear sweatpants.
I know. Great.
Not
great
fair.
Job. It's not
I don't really want to work anymore. Like the one thing I'm having like this sickness where I was off
I could be sick all the time.
Because I was off because obviously I have my 4-day weekend. Rolled right into a sickness. I was off the whole of like. I mean, I know I felt like shit and I haven't been able to do a goddamn thing.
But I have to go to
barely
work.
Breathe. But this has been kind of fucking nice. If they just keep paying me and I don't show up.
How this works? Is that jobs now?
Maybe I can wheel this in because they know that with what I have is like 2 to 3 weeks it goes away or up to 7 months.
Yeah.
I love that. I love those spans. It could be as long as 7 months. I'm like, well, where'd that come from?
Yeah.
But that'll get me through all summer of like, hey, I just can't do it.
You just can't do it. And you got to keep paying me though.
Like I'll spray and stuff, but like
physical labor,
I can't dig.
Bad for my life.
I wanted to, so I did see it was on TikTok. It was this guy, it was about shoveling snow and stuff like this. And the guy's like, hey, after 40, you just got to stop shoveling. You just can't shovel anymore after 40 because you're just going to fuck yourself up.
Yeah.
And I wanted to take that in and be like, here, look.
This guy said this.
I mean.
This guy's a doctor.
Yeah. It's TikTok. Look how many likes he's got.
Yeah.
I mean.
Got to listen to him.
Yeah.
It's funny.
Yeah. I got to get back into my funny feed on TikTok. I don't know how it's like the one thing they always take away from me. It's like, hey, here's a bunch of shit that you've never liked. Please show
Please
that
watch
to you.
it.
Watch this. Like, no.
Fuck you guys.
A lot of it. I went through a span for like a week. That Kerry Wood that used to be a pitcher for the Cubs, like his rookie year, he struck out 20 guys and it was a big deal. Like every other one was like the anniversary of this.
Geez.
I have not watched any baseball videos, fucking period.
Yeah.
Why do you keep for like 3 days straight? It was like, I don't, I'm not a Cubs fan.
Yeah.
Kerry Wood can go fuck himself with a broken bat.
Yeah.
I don't care. Like, what do we struck out 20 guys? I don't fucking care.
Yeah.
Sounds like a boring game.
Yeah, exactly.
Nothing fucking happened.
Nothing happened at all.
I mean,
God damn. That'd be better if he had 8 home runs hit off of him.
Yeah.
Like, that was a fun game to watch.
They left him in.
Yeah.
Fuck it.
He's a rookie. Oh, man, that's funny.
All right. Well, you had enough?
Yeah.
Yep. Me too. Let's do it.
WideSide.